maybe it's not a good question, so you
Huh?
don't have to. If it's not appropriate, you don't have to answer. But some time ago, I found some devotees testimony. He's a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, who said that he noticed that towards the end of Srila Prabhupada's presence here, he noticed that the number of recordings that Srila Prabhupada was producing was much less,
Mm-hmm.
for example, in 77 than before. And then he found some devotee who supposedly told him that the leading devotees instructed him to destroy some of the tapes. And he was saying, so what should I do? And then this devotee told him, well, you give them to me and then I will hide them. And then he repeatedly came, they told me to destroy the tapes, what should I do? And then in the end, he said that he destroyed them. So...
Well, I wasn't there. And it's an interesting observation, definitely. So I wasn't there, so I cannot comment in detail. I have no testimonies, I have no proof, but that technically spoken, it's possible. There's no problem that it happened. And there were definitely things Prabhupada said which were already destroyed in his presence. It is documented. Okay? I know it personally from devotees who Prabhupada letters got destroyed. Things like that. So obviously there were people around who could have done such a thing. But the details I cannot comment, I wasn't there, so I don't know. But the observation that there is a less recordings available is quite interesting. I just know it's documented for me that our previous GBC here, Prabhupada wrote him a letter that actually he should drop his GBC duties at that time in Germany and come and take over the Radha Damodar party as a Sankirtan leader. It was a letter. And he never got it. So when Prabhupada came, that's the really embarrassing part. I said, what happened? I wrote you a letter, you didn't even answer. And he said, what letter? I never got it. So it was clearly documented the secretary, who was the leader of the Sankirtan party, destroyed that letter. Quite foolish thing to do because Prabhupada was still alive, he came around and he talked about that, so it became evident, okay? So, yes, there are things like this possible. We have nowadays even more amazing challenge. By the mercy of artificial intelligence, you can reproduce Prabhupada quite accurately. When you hear Prabhupada said this, Prabhupada said that, it's recorded, you know. No, it's not recorded. It's created by artificial intelligence. So, but I tell you quite frankly, Prabhupada was so specific. For anybody who is sincerely studying his books, sincerely hearing his words, he will detect if somebody tries to change something. Even I am not very technically skillful, neither I very philosophical person, but I can detect if somebody is misrepresenting Srila Prabhupada. Yeah? And if I have really some problem, then I would have to go to those who were personally present, still relying on their testimonies, but they were at least present. Whole Lamrita is full of details, which Praswarup Maharaj wrote this relying on testimonies of devotees. And he actually recorded who told him what. There's actually a dictionary to it. Yeah? And what could he do? When you write a book like this, well, you have to, what can you do? You have to accept that. Otherwise there will be no book. And then of course, as the book was published, immediately someone said, I was there and it wasn't like this, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah? So this is, we work with what we have, the best thing we have, but it is truly advisable to study the initial instructions of Prabhupada, things which are proven, he said, and not accept things which are of a questionable quality. So we have to be alert to that. But again, Prabhupada was so clear in his statements that, what do you want to change, really? Okay? What do you want to change? There's one very dangerous philosophy going around, that Prabhupada was doing things circumstantially. Yeah, or he was pushed to do things circumstantially. First of all, I don't believe Prabhupada could be pushed with anything. He did circumstantial things consciously, like he circumstantially adjusted 64 rounds a day to 16 rounds a day chanting, because none of us could handle 64 rounds a day. He circumstantially adjusted things so we can go out and preach. Yeah? He did revolutionary things. Personally, what can I say? For me, it stops there. Nothing more to be added, nothing more to be subtracted. Keep it that way. And whenever somebody tries to change something, sooner or later it proves to be destructive. A problem. Guarantee. I mean, I've watched this since 54 years, it's just funny. As soon as somebody changes some paradigm shift, something new, that new is sooner or later disappearing, quite fast actually. Even it sounds really spectacular, it sounds really good. Nah, it will vanish, along with all those fools who are going along with this. How many of these things I saw, So, we have to be cautious, very orthodox. They call you fanatic, dinosaur, or whatever. We have new Krishna consciousness. It's 2025. You want to be like 1968? Come on. Prabhupada writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita about hippies. Where are the hippies? You see, it's circumstantial. No, they are still hippies. It's just a name. Hippies turned into rainbow freaks. I repeat, freaks. Kissing, loving, embracing. As a brahmachari is preaching on such a rainbow festivals, where everybody is embracing each other, and brahmacharis embrace the hippie matajis, and it's a rainbow matajis. Well, how long you do that without falling down? So, and where's the rainbow now? I saw straight edge coming up. Wow. Let's just give you examples. 4 regulative principles. They love it. They love it. I was visiting a straight edge community in North Sweden. We're sitting together and no illicit sex life, no meat eating, no gambling. Good. And they were like, boom, boom, boom. But there was already some ladies, some girls, because wherever they have some renunciates, you will have a female renunciate coming close. That's the law. Yesterday I spoke even in a public program about that. Everybody was laughing. I said, when there are monks, there will be nuns. So it's organic magnetism. You cannot avoid it. So it was far. They were respectful to devotees, and they were like, yeah. S. N. Raghunath was the devotee who was the leader of the straight edge music, hero international, very much acclaimed. And I had him as a visitor in Stockholm. Packed temple room with young people, straight edge is coming, rough, revolution. No consumption, no sense gratification of that gross sort. And then I saw, because there was not really much of a higher taste, they start to adjust things in their own terminology. No illicit sex means you can have sex, but only when everybody likes it. No abuse. They have to agree on that. Then the straight age girls got pregnant, and then very fast the whole thing disappeared. Vanished completely. And Raghunath, I know him personally, he's a nice devotee. He said, I'm tired of this. 40-year-old man still jumping on a stage and diving into the public. He said, they will drop me, I'm getting too fat for this. Just you jump from the stage like this. That was a part of the act. To music, fiercely passionate. I never saw somebody shredding guitar like straight edge, Well, the passion culminates into ignorance. That's the law. No more mode of goodness. No. So once again, where is that one? Oh yeah, I will do it. I will here on record ask, why Krishna has to be only West? Why not Krishna East? Krishna South? Krishna North? Who is the rascal who said Krishna is West? Krishna is everywhere, for everybody. East, West, North, South, up, down, everywhere. It's all Krishna. So why only West? A special version of Krishna consciousness. Krishna West. And what do? Forget this dressing like a Vaishnava. Yeah, Krishna likes it, Prabhupada liked that, but we don't like it anymore. Let's forget these traditional forms. We are now West. I can express myself freely. I'm not obliged to dress like this. So I will sit with blue jeans and a Vyasasana and give lecture. I'm a free man. Really? Since when is blue jeans free? Every idiot is wearing this on the street. You see, material world is like this. Everything what they advocate is revolutionary and new becomes commercialized. The business people are always there. The Vaishya class goes, oh, rainbow. Yeah, we have a rainbow shirt here, rainbow. And they make a rainbow shops. Becomes a fashion. Then came punk. Oh, that was really... Punk had one slogan, no fun, no future. Completely cynical, existentialistic attitude to life. And ugliness is beautiful. We had in Berlin a whole Sunday feast full of punks. Needle in a nose, so toilet seat like a garland, I was going, this is incredible. But we were laughing about this because, we have only one rule. No taking of shoes. Everybody was sitting with shoes because as soon as they take the shoes off, the smell was intolerable. So, no taking of shoes, okay? Don't throw prasadam on the walls. That was another rule we had in Berlin. They took the plastic spoon and they were going, punk. Next rule was no rats in Sunday feast. They had pets, rats looking out of the pocket. So, and we were thinking, these people are so ugly, it's unbelievable, dirty, filthy, ugly. So how can you get some girlfriend? No. There was he punk, she punk. She was thinking, oh, how beautiful. He has such a nice toilet seat around the neck. So, so again, same game. And what happened? Punk boutiques. It became a fashion. Rip-off jackets and, with nails sticking out, and that's punk. It became a fashion, it became business. Then came the ecological part, okay? Everything, love and nature and, sure, bio, everything is bio. You know what bio is? It's actually the original stuff. First they pollute something, the same people, they pollute something, sell you only chemicals, and they make business with that. And when it doesn't fly so good, then they take the chemicals away and they triple the prices and sell you the original thing. This is all cheating, business. Everything becomes like this. They would like to turn the whole Hare Krishna movement into business, and it's already happening. You are lucky here. You are living in a penniless place. What kind of business you want to make with this place? Yeah? Let's go and have a sightseeing over Zagreb. Business, entrance fee. Who comes? This place is actually quite inaccessible, When you make business, you go there where the people are. You find out what they like. And you sell something which fits to their liking. So Swami was always, this humor was incredible. He said, yes, it's going to be alternative Krishna consciousness. Cigarettes with no nicotine. Beer without alcohol. Then he said something else, I will not quote this, regarding sex life. But anyway, so, adjusting. Business, good money. A big guru, big money. I'm quoting now India, all of it. Turning temples into money-making factories. And in India it works, really. Pious people come and go. Service. Okay, service, here's a donation box. And the managers go. It was the Janmashtami, it was great, $1 million. Prabhupada warned us, never do this like this. You listen to an opening lecture of Krishna Balaram Mandir when they got installed. Prabhupada is very heavy. He said, don't turn it into that. Because what happened to all the temples in Vrindavan. The Goswamis started the temples. But they didn't perform the puja, they were writing books. Some of them did puja, but they write books. So they delegated to their grihastha disciples. So the temples became the homes for the grihastha disciples. And being their homes, they start to cash on this. And it was flying really good because of spectacular temples, People come and wow. So it was the curtain, deity, donation. The curtain, deity, donation. And you get used to it. There's quite some cash rolling in. So what happened? Krishna took the mercy away. Wasn't such a good business. In some temples in Vrindavan, they found out, the later generations, that the deities are made from gold and silver. So they melted them and sell it as a metal. So that happens when you have Kanishta Adhikari class of people coming in charge. And business. There's no harm with business. You do business. But don't turn the temple into this. This is for worship Krishna. So whenever I see a big temple still coming up, I go like, oh. There has to be a Brahminical leadership. You come in a temple, you sit down, you learn. Teaching, preaching. Preaching means teaching. And you get prasadam, very good. Prasadam, lecture. Prabhupada once even said, without lecture, what's the use of prasadam? He was not denying prasadam, but he said, where's the lecture? You know, teaching. Now in the West, who wants a lecture? Prasadam, yeah. Even chanting, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Don't give a lecture. Dangerous. You may say something which upsets people. It's love. Let's chant, Hare Rama, Radhe Radhe. And prasadam is also harmless. Who can argue over that? But don't preach. Don't preach. Well, this is not Prabhupada. So my suggestion is to be protected from this is you always compare things. What happened when Prabhupada was present? What would happen when he would be present now? Would he agree on this? And we have enough documentation, I can give you documentation, that Prabhupada didn't like any inventions. No. Somebody tried to start yoga village, just meditating. Prabhupada said, no, we don't want any yoga village. We have a kirtan, we have haranam, we have book distribution, we have prasadam. And he said, and the force is purity. When you do it purely for Krishna, Krishna will respond. And people, those people we want, not fools and rascals, they will appreciate. Oh, they're serving so ecstatically and so selflessly. And they will immediately feel obliged to contribute and to help. Such people do exist. But sometimes we don't even get to them because they know, oh, somebody is making some cash here. This is not for God. This goes into his pocket. He's not preaching on behalf of God, he's preaching on behalf of his economy. Or name, fame, glory. You know? People can detect that. Whole church is full of this. Just they were even so arrogant, these fellows in the beginning. They were giving in a church lectures in Latin, a language nobody could understand. So the villagers were like, the rituals, you know, the villagers were like, oh. But one thing they could do, give donation. And they were feeling like, yeah, I will be relieved from my sins. Yeah, sure. That's how church collected money. And then came one priest. There was always revolutionaries. Czech history is like this. There was one, his name was Hus. And he started to preach in a language everybody could understand. And he explained God in a way everybody could understand. You know what they did to him? They burned him alive. The church burned him alive. Church is full of this kind of things. They were doing Sankirtan too, you know. Going with Czech Republic was the center before even Vatican came up. So they came with a oxen cart, you know, priest giving lecture. The villagers came out, oh, the priest coming from far away, you know, and he was like, we are all sinners. You all go to hell. And they were like, oh, there are strange things happening in a village. Yeah, well, maybe we go to hell. No, I don't want to go to hell. There is no problem. If you pay this and this amount, this and this sin will be forgiven. They had a catalog on this. Oh, I killed my wife in rage. Oh, this is a very serious sin. 10 ducats. Here you have a paper, it's forgiven. And while they were doing that, traveling around, they found one thing interesting. The young village girls. So, the priest left and the young village girls were pregnant. So it became quite massive. So it was known, the priests are coming, the girls possibly get pregnant. What you do with that? Quite simple. They're going, oh, my daughter is pregnant. I don't know whom. That was not the practice in a village. Everybody was getting married, okay? Oh, what happened? What happened? And the girl was crying. She couldn't say. She was afraid. She will go to hell. No, she didn't have to go to hell. You know what did they with her? They declared her to be witch and burned her too. So you burn the evidence, including the pregnancy, everything. That's the witch hunts. She's possessed by devil. Devil made her pregnant. Burn her. I'm speaking history of church. Well, at least we don't do that, okay? We are okay in ISKCON. We don't burn pregnant Matajis on a stake. Prithu was good. But a Christian, he said, what about women in Krishna consciousness? What are you doing? And Prithu just turned on him and he said, well, at least we don't burn them. And he was quiet because he knew. So that's history. So this is, so we should be very cautious. Not fanatical, cautious, just, no, we don't have to join in. Krishna, West, East, and, you saw me on Sankirtan, I go out, I'm not also walking in dirty like this all the time. When I go there and walk somewhere, some construction, this is very dangerous. Sorry. You can get a chainsaw into this, and it's dangerous. And when it's outside minus 30, and you go there, in Sweden, I saw it. Devotees having skiing outfits, it was minus 30, And then they put dhoti over it. And they look like, like this. Then this thing gets wet, and you know that. And it gets instantly frozen. It's minus 30, So it becomes like a wood. And you go bang, because you have a piece of wood flying around here. This is just an example, okay? Well, sorry, we are not in Bengal. It's not plus 30 degrees, And we are here in the West. I agree on that. Prabhupada said very clearly, dress is not, especially for Sankirtan, he said, it's not prescribed, you must be like that. But he really hated one thing. He said, if you go out and you dress like, he said, you should dress like an ordinary gentleman, not like hippies again. He really hated the hippie thing, with the, love beads. No. And that was for years maintained that you cannot go out with dhoti on Sankirtan because it's too upsetting people. Well, we have Yellow Manidhara Prabhu, he goes every day and he's not upsetting anybody. How come? Because he's presenting Krishna consciousness as it is, in a very discreet, tolerant, and patient way. People don't complain. And you say, well, what about the demons? Demons, a real demon, he cannot even see a dhoti. He cannot. Well, don't worry. If you don't have the dhoti, he will do the same. He will smell, this is a devotee. Doesn't matter how you dress. Yesterday I had a boy like this. I met him twice already, actually. And he saw me, he goes, just keep on walking. Turning me into dust. When he did it second time to me, I just started to laugh. A young freak who would deserve a really good slap in the face. But that's my thinking. I'm not so pure. So, but I let him go, and I laughed. And I could see how he was very agitated. He knew exactly where I am. He was registering me very keenly. But he was, don't exist, I'm God. He was really thinking, I'm God. I should have more pity upon him, but people like this I would really like to slap in the face. You are God? Well, prevent me from slapping you in the face. If you are God, I shouldn't be able to do that, isn't it? And here's another one coming. So, but I don't do that. It's not Sankirtan, okay? I admire Lamanjita, who is like, okay, another God coming, okay. There's so many gods walking on the street, you know. This is Sankirtan. So, obviously, it's a question of personal choice. But one thing, we don't have a choice. We cannot compromise what Prabhupada gave. No change in philosophy. No change in basic rules Prabhupada established. And it seems sometimes it's not very suitable. It seems sometimes we should change something. No, in the long term, if you stick to what Prabhupada gave, it always turns out to be finally good. Everything else will perish. We saw it over and over again. So, yeah. There's one very nice statement. I put it on my webpage. I don't know the man. He died a long time ago. He lived 50 years ago he died, or what, and he lived. Normal kind of guy, but he got some brain. He said something really, he said, in regards to Christianity, he said, already seeing, it's such a deviated thing. So so he said, devil is not so stupid that he will oppose Christianity. No, he's much more smart as that. He will create another Christianity, which looks very similar to the original. So good Christians cannot complain. He is against Christianity, well, it's clear. No, he's not against Christianity. He will be just another Christian, devil personified. And he will change the whole thing. This is how Maya really works. Maya doesn't come like, wow, Krishna, then it's clear, okay, bye-bye, Maya comes, me also devotee, bhakta. Hare Krishna, me, I'm also bhakta. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, that's me. And you go, look, he's chanting. Maya can chant too, She goes, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And you go, that's nice. Then she goes, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare blah blah, Hare blah blah, blah blah, blah blah, blah blah, ballet. You go, that sounds a bit different, but she's still chanting, isn't it? No, it's not the Maha Mantra anymore. She changed it. That's how Maya works. Just piece after piece, change, move, until it's something completely different. And people still think this is the same thing. No, it's not. It's something completely different. That's how Maya works. And those who just go, no, it's Hare Krishna, Krishna, not Hare Kichi, ba. No. Fanatics, dinosauria. There was one of my Govaras who long time ago defined it in a very nice way. He said, Krishna personally comes from the spiritual world. He brings the spiritual world to us. And it's ecstatic. The conditioned soul feels enlivened. Spiritual kingdom, great. And it enters the spiritual atmosphere, but not exactly purified. It brings its own material and attachment with it. And due to, Prabhupada call it habituation, old habits, it starts to adjust the spiritual atmosphere to their own material perception. So it becomes a material thing again. It's perverted. You know? And suddenly Krishna is only West, and then another one comes, Krishna East. You know, in Russia today is preached that Vedas comes from Russia. Yeah? You don't know that? Vedas come from Russia. Yes? Things like that. I'm not saying everybody is doing that, but this is coming up like this. And then comes African Krishna consciousness. You know, if you are not black, you are not devotee, really, you know. Why are you white? Huh? We are the original people. You know that humankind was generated from Africa, according to the Darwinists. Life comes from Africa. They have that also going on. But they are wonderful devotees there too, you know. And why they are wonderful? Because they love to hear about Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada is not Africa, he is not West, he is not East, he is not rainbow, he is not straight edge. He is nothing of this. He is Srila Prabhupada as he is, presenting Bhagavad Gita as it is, Krishna as he is, and that's it. Let's stay with that. Why should we change something? And I don't mind people deviating out of weakness. That's for everybody. You know? Weakness, yeah. But to be proud of it and make it another movement, oh, there where Prabhupada was furious. He rejected even his own disciples because of that. Preaching. No, this is the new Krishna. It was already happening in front of him. Prabhupada, I'm so happy. You know, now I'm cool because I'm not following all these principles. I follow some principles when I like, because love has to be there, you know. It's voluntary, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So sometimes I follow some principles, sometimes I don't. There was a previous sannyasi coming to him like this. He said, I'm back, you know, and I can play saxophone now in a bar if I like to. Then I chant Hare Krishna if I like to. I'm happy, Prabhupada, I'm so happy. Prabhupada slammed his fist on a table. The servants were shocked. He said, when you are so happy, then go to hell. And when Prabhupada got angry, those devotees who were present, they said, this is the most furious things you ever saw. You couldn't breathe. When Prabhupada got angry, you just couldn't get any oxygen. It was so heavy. And then after, you know, the man just was shocked. He just went out of the door and nobody ever saw him again. And then, and the one devotee told Prabhupada, you just rejected him, isn't it? And Prabhupada immediately stopped. He changed immediately. And he said, no. I never reject anybody. It was the last thing I could do for him. Just slam it. But Prabhupada was very sad about this. He said, I never reject anybody, but I am not compromising. Sorry, I cannot do that. I'm obliged to my guru. I cannot do this. I cannot change more as I already changed. I already adjusted things. It's not a change, it's an adjustment. I already did what I could. But the conditions was always trying to bend it further. This tendency is always there. Prabhupada was so concerned we don't speculate in deity worship, we don't speculate in preaching. I don't want to get to the editorial issues. This is a hot issue in one sense. There is things which Prabhupada said, put it nicely. He knew that his Victorian English is quite obsolete for the West. So he put it nicely. But don't change the meaning. No. And don't take everything out. Prabhupada said, as I wrote in my book, Easy Journey to Other Planets, we never went to the moon. In a lecture. And then the devotees are silent. Prabhupada stops and goes, what is the problem? Prabhupada, it's not there. Prabhupada was going, bring me the book. There was a whole page missing because the editor didn't like it. He took out, we went never to the moon. He said, come on, it was on TV, it must be true, isn't it? I saw it on TV. That's the evidence, okay? I saw it on TV, they were landing on the moon, like. I saw it too. It was around the time I was joining. The whole nation was on TV, they are landing on the moon. From today's point of view, it looks like really a cheap cartoon movie, just one guy. And then the module, the capsule is landing on a moon. It's all recorded, and it goes heavy. You know how much fire you need and how much resistance you need to stop something and landing softly. So actually, even moon has a different atmosphere, we accept that. There should be some marks on the ground, isn't it? Some hole, from the fire. No! On the movie, it's like you put something on a table. No marks. I mean, it's a really primitive cartoon movie, And the whole nation, they are landing on the moon. With today's technology, you could make landings anywhere. No problem. But those days they were not so developed. The result, today, I think 2/3 of Americans don't believe anymore we were on the moon. But who cares? It's millions and millions of dollars being spent. Who cares? It's not so long time ago, but who cares? We have other problems. Now there's no more landing on the moon, right? And they brought back what? Prabhupada was laughing. They said they brought back a stone from the moon. And it's geologically analyzed. It's of the same quality like on a planet Earth. I mean, where they picked it up, It's some kind of desert, they pick up a stone and from the moon. I mean, it's ridiculous. And people believe this nonsense. Says media is one lie after another. We were lied from our first day we were born, we were lied to. You cannot believe anything. So we are here to find the truth. We want the real thing. We want the truth. How do we find it? What is our evidence? Like Krishna consciousness is real. How do we realize that? Krishna says very clearly what knowledge is. It's symptomized by happiness, enthusiasm, change of character. That's quite heavy evidence, He used to be a gangster, he used to be a who knows what, and now he's just chanting devotee. This is interesting. This is a real evidence. Something happened here. We changed his consciousness. It's simple, it's practical. When you talk like this to people, yesterday in a program, I was just talking in these similar lines, everybody agrees, I just want to change my consciousness. It doesn't make me happy anymore, isn't it? And what is consciousness? I don't even know that. When you tell them consciousness is thinking, feeling and willing, three elements of consciousness, they are, yeah, okay, yeah. Everybody knows what thinking is, everybody knows what feeling is, and everybody knows what a desire is. And that's a symptom of a conscious person. Now how do you change that? We desire something which is causing us pain. We feel completely illusory things which are not there. And what we think, well, that's crazy. I can talk to people like this, they understand that. They go, yeah. There was a French philosopher, he said, I think, and therefore I am. Well, every dog is thinking, therefore he is also, Dogs are thinking too. They are feeling too, and they desire to. Same consciousness. It's a dog consciousness, but they have the same elements. So, what's the big thing? What we are talking, is it not? Yesterday I asked, is it understandable what I talked for 1.5 hours? And they were like, yeah, we understood, we can follow. I said, sorry, I'm not so mystical, I could just tell you about our energy is rising. And you feel it, you're becoming one with the energies, the cosmic energies. You feel it? Somebody gets very nervous. He goes, there's some problem, isn't it? Keep on going. No, I don't have a problem. I just have to go to the toilet. That's what I feel. Okay, end of meditation. Now we go to the toilet. Come on. So much for the cosmic energies. I saw in Germany, way back, in the early 80s, somebody was having a yoga school selling yoga nidra seminary, cosmic sleep. You know what the guy did? He just rented an empty hall, put some straw mattresses on the floor, and people for 100 Deutschmarks an hour, they lay down and fell asleep. That was the cosmic sleep. And they felt really special about that, because it cost 100 marks, It was expensive, so it must be good. We saw the posters of this. We were just laughing, It's like, they pay 100 marks, lots of money also. It's like 100 euros, an hour, just to lay down on a blank floor and fall asleep. And people do that. Do you feel it? Yeah, of course. When I fall asleep, I also, there's some dreams and who knows what, Cosmic vibrations, Boom, boom, boom. Do you feel it? Do you feel like you're becoming part of the cosmos? I could open a yoga school, actually, really, Maybe I should make some money, because it's just like become a yoga teacher. Now I couldn't sleep myself because it's just cheating. I sleep quite peacefully because I think at least I didn't cheat anybody today. Because people are cheating all the time. Cheaters and cheated. That's how Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj summarized this world. You can choose which party you want to be a member of. Cheaters or cheated. So we don't want that. We don't want this. We don't have to do that. You can go out and say, it's Krishna, it's Prabhupada, take it or leave it. And they agree what we are saying. Prabhupada introduced in a society worldwide terms, which were quite unknown before. When I joined this movement, vegetarianism was considered in Germany almost like terrorism. Just that. This is just a by-effect. Yoga, sure. Reincarnation, everybody talks about this, yes. It's interesting to find out how much sex I had in last lifetime. They always think in the same pattern again. How much did I enjoy in the last lifetime? They don't think how much I died. No, that's not so good. Yesterday was, beyond birth and death. There was a lady, she was going, oh, sounds interesting. I said, you heard about transmigration. Actually, I'm using the word reincarnation, it's not correct. It's called transmigration. Reincarnation is incarnation, is for Krishna. But I'm using it because that's what they understand. And she was going, yeah. And she had such a funny dog. It was such a little thing, the hair were longer like the dog. It was just a ball of hair with 4 legs sticking out like this. I told her, that's good. Yes, we are all coming from somewhere, being reborn again, certainly. And she was, yeah. And I told her, you know what your dog was in the last lifetime? And she was like, you know? And I said, yes, he was a cushion. Because he looks like a cushion. And she laughed. And she said, oh, he's still a cushion, And I said, you see, it's keeping on going. He'll be a cushion lifetime after lifetime. And we had a bizarre discussion. But she likes it. She was laughing and she took a book. So, Zagreb is actually quite nice. I don't know why. I experienced Zagreb in a different form. I was here in the autumn, maybe it's the season, I don't know. But quite cool people and many young people, interesting people. Art students, you can see it. They're studying like this. And this is it's nice. And what else you can do? You can offer it. If they don't come, what can we do? We have to be just present. That's all. Visualizing. Here we are. Not sitting somewhere in a forest and chanting japa. That's good for us, but what do they have out of that? Prabhupada wants us out. Hello, here we are. Everything public. Matchless gift shops, Prabhupada was sitting in a shopping window, Hare Krishna. And people were like, this is Swami in a window, And Prabhupada was going, come in. He was during the lecture, he was going, come in. That's the mood. You have such a place in Karlovac. Open door and just come in. But of course, then what you do with people who come in, that's another issue. Anyway, that would be too big and too long. So don't be impressed or don't be really affected. I'm kind of sometimes tired to discuss this because it's coming and going, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, those who search knowledge, they are interested in permanent things, not things which are of a temporary nature. So I found the only thing is permanent is Prabhupada as he is, and Bhagavad Gita as it is, and that you can talk about all the time. All the other things, coming, going. Nobody knows after a while what it was even. Straight edge was a big thing. Thousands of young people being fascinated. Where is it now? Nobody even knows. What is it? Did you heard about it? Comes and goes, comes and goes. So, why not make our life simple? And Bhagavatam says, those who truly are connected to God, they are timeless. It's described that the sun every time goes up and every time it's going down, it's cutting your lifespan. So every time the sun goes down, you have 1 day less in this body. It's countdown. Up to the point it's finished. Okay? But Bhagavatam says, doesn't apply to those who are connected to God. Sun goes up and down, they are doing the same thing. Serving Krishna, in this body, that body, whatever body, eternally. That's it. When you think like this, suddenly things become very easy, very simple. But the karmis, they go, the sun is coming up, the sun is going down, the sun is coming up, the sun is going down. No, it's going down. Oh, it's going down. No, it's coming up. You see how they, you know it on the street, how they are manipulated, by light and darkness, by temperature change. Karmis are completely controlled by the weather report. When the wind blows from this side, they go that way. When it's dark and rainy, they go. When the sun comes, you can sometimes see, Yesterday it was such a change. It was just rain, and then sunshine. Rain, sunshine. And it was funny to watch the people. They are like, in 1 hour they changed at least 2-3 times. This is humiliating, Ziva Manchita standing there like, same thing, raining, sunshine, same song, same thing. I could really make a film out of this. This is what it is. Raining, yeah, sunshine, yeah, we are distributing books. People notice that. People get aware of this. This man is not changing. He's every day here, going, hello. He seems to be like almost inhuman, isn't it? It's like one day you are, and next day you are, okay, take it. No, it's the same thing. So this stability people are actually looking for. They want that. But they don't know how to do that. And there's a price to it, yes. You have to renounce certain things, which cause you trouble actually. That's all what we do. We just renounce things which are troublesome. That's all. I explained this today, the 4 regularity principles. It's just trouble. You get rid of trouble, that's all. Meditating, illicit sex life, drugs. People know this is complicated, this is trouble. Gambling, why should I do that? But they train them like this. They brainwash them that this is fun, Fun to lose your money. Fun to eat somebody. Fun to have sex. It's fun. Really? Oh. The list of problems coming just out of that department is quite long, From AIDS up to paying for a long time for unplanned children, the list is quite long. Emotional abuse, all is included. For what? For a few minutes sex life, are you joking? Prabhupada said, we don't deny it's fun. No. But 3 minutes. Few minutes and then so much suffering coming behind. I don't want to go in details, but it doesn't make sense really. If I would tell you, 3 minutes you will enjoy like anything, and for 30 years I will slap you in the face, will you make such a deal? So many false expectations, so much pain coming behind. Why? Why should we do that? On the morning walk, Prabhupada said, no. Krishna says, I am the sex. So how can we be against sex? Okay? But then he defines what kind of sex. And then one, obviously, young brahmachari is interested. And then Prabhupada on that morning walk gives quite a detailed description how to have sex in Krishna consciousness. And then this young boy goes, oh, then what's the use? You know, when you get the whole package, all the regulations, how to have sex, he goes, what's the use? And Prabhupada said, it's a very intelligent boy. Not very encouraging, really. But Prabhupada said, yeah, he quoted actually Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, who was a Naishtik brahmachari, never had anything to do with women. But he said on a certain stage, now I could have thousands of children, yeah. Full Krishna consciousness. And what does it mean? You just attract, call upon already very spiritually mature souls who just, you facilitate that they appear in a body and finish. That's actually, in essence, strictly spoken, what this whole thing is about. Because to facilitate body means that you have to have sex, of course. But that's it. You facilitate somebody to appear, and because of your purity of consciousness, you attract such a already quite advanced soul. After many, many, many births and lifetimes, he is coming. He appears, Hare Krishna. And from the early childhood, it's going to be Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, finished. And then he goes. That's the ideal case. Of course, the reality is very often quite different. Prabhupada described it, and it's like, and Prabhupada, you know what he said? He said, I cannot give you an example because I was not successful. He said, my Grihastha ashram was not successful, so I cannot give you, but this is the ideal picture. Now, this is Prabhupada's humility. We can speculate, why didn't Prabhupada, family, all pure devotees? Well, there are different theories about that. Just imagine there will be all pure devotees and they will be now in ISKCON, there will be ISKCON. So, it will be complicated. It will be complicated. So Krishna is sometimes, even to a pure devotee, not giving some comfortable material circumstance, you could say. And he proves or shows, demonstrates to him and to everybody else that to have a family is not necessarily ideal. Depends who is coming. You know? Oh, I could go more in. I will do it before I leave, because I'm just leaving so I can afford to say something, That is very rare. Croatia is actually having some things. Personally, I do travel around. Oh yeah, there is a place, Italy. Italy is like this. The grandmother is chanting, the grandfather is chanting, the father is chanting, the mama is chanting, and the kids are chanting. It happens. This, because they are pious people. So the family stays kind of intact in Krishna consciousness. I heard from Bhakti Bhushana Maharaj, who preached in South America, he said, in South America, sometimes the parents are better devotees like their children. You don't see it in the West very much, isn't it? But in Croatia, you have such an examples. You have a whole community in Daruvar. This is the grandmother became now grand-grandmother. I was just there. And her daughter lives next house. And the grand-grandchild was just born. And they're all chanting. They're all devotees. All of it. It's practically already becoming like a small village. They're all devotees. 2 sons, they said, no, I'm getting married only to a devotee. So, so it's like, this is Vedic society in a nutshell. Everybody is practicing spiritual life. So before I leave, I can say something. Here, just look at what you have here in front of your eyes. We have a son serving in a temple and the mother is on the altar. This is not common. I don't know too many examples of that. Simhachalam is another one. Because I'm very interested to watch how Krishna consciousness manifests through individual devotees. Simhachalam is another one. The temple president is a son of a mother who is living there, and she's totally devotee. Nice devotee. This is inspiring to see. And when people get hold of this, they go, "What? Do you parents like Krishna consciousness?" He said, "Well, they brought me to Krishna consciousness." Oh, oh, really? Yeah. I saw even devotees trying to leave Krishna consciousness and the mother beats him back. No way you are going to bloop. Go back. My dear son, I will not allow you to bloop. Doesn't happen all the time like this, but it's beautiful to see this. It's very inspiring. You think, Krishna consciousness is established. It took roots. There will be grandparents chanting, there will be parents chanting, there will be children chanting. It took roots. You cannot wipe it out anymore. So this is inspiring to see. All glories to those who remain chaste in Krishna consciousness and keep on going. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
His Grace Manidhara Prabhu ki jai.